How my school reacted to me being pregnant at 16. If you guys don't know me, hi, my name is Layla. I am 17 years old and I am 35 weeks pregnant with a baby girl due in March, which is crazy. Time is flying by, you guys. Anyways, y'all already know how the story starts. I found out I was pregnant at 24 weeks, and I believe this was around beginning of November, end of October. When I found out I was pregnant and I decided to keep the baby, I didn't really tell anyone necessarily. I just told like my close friends. But I think like a week or two goes by and one of my friends texts me and she's like, Layla, are you pregnant? Obviously, I'm really confused because at the time I have not told anyone yet. I haven't even posted it on my social media. And pretty much she's telling me that there's a rumor going around that I'm pregnant and she just wanted to like triple check with me. And obviously I told her and I was like, you know what? I just don't feel like hiding this anymore. It is what it is. So after that, I just started telling everybody, especially some friends, because I didn't want them finding out from anybody else, especially from a rumor. The funny part is that no one really came up to me. Like, no one really told me. Again, I'm finding out from someone else. So I'm like, am I delusional? Am I like clueless? Like, how did I not notice? And for the people in my comment section asking if like anyone ever like bullied me, no one really told me anything like harsh or mean in my face. I've mainly been getting that from like my TikTok and Instagram comments. However, there was one encounter that I really want to tell y'all. So basically, I'm just going to my math class and all of a sudden this group of kids come up to me and they're like, hey, my friends want to know if you're pregnant. Keep in mind, I like don't know these people, so it's low-key just like really awkward. I just tell them and I'm like, none of your business. Not because like I didn't want to tell them. I just really want to go to class and I just don't want to be dealing with this right now. And basically he went away and he screamed. Literally everyone in the hallway heard and he's like, y'all, she's totally pregnant. But by then the semester was over and as you guys know, I'm currently doing school online. However, I will be going back in person my senior year. But weeks go by, it's winter break, and my boyfriend is still going to in-person school, and right around that time is when I posted my first video here on TikTok. I honestly think that video blew up because lots of people at my school saw, but my boyfriend's experience at school hasn't been terrible either, to be honest. Lots of people did come up to him. Well, not lots, but some people came up to him and was like, oh yeah, like, is your girlfriend pregnant or whatever? And lots of like his friends texted him, you know, casual stuff like that because like, again, I posted it on my TikTok and I don't think a lot of people even still knew at this time, even though of all the rumors and stuff, some people still didn't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much and have an amazing day.
Story time about how I caught my stepsister sleeping with my boyfriend at the time. I've thought about sharing this story for quite some time now because I don't want to get in trouble because I know like she'll send it to my parents and then they'll get on to me. I don't really care because like you slept with my boyfriend. So pretty much I asked my boyfriend to hang out on this day and he was like, no, sorry, I have plans with my family. And my stepsister just kept making sure I wasn't going to be home because apparently she was having a party and didn't want me there. So, like, I made plans with my friends. And for some reason, my stepsister asked me to take, like, me and my boyfriend's, at the time, dog with me. Which I still don't really understand the concept of that one. She just said that she needed it gone because she was having a party. And my friend lived like 30 minutes away and I was about like 10 minutes from her house and I realized I forgot to bring my dog because it's like weird, I don't ever bring my dog. And then my parents called me and were like, oh, I thought you were taking the dog, your sister wanted you to take the dog. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. And I knew if I didn't go back and like get the dog, everybody would end up making a big deal out of it. So I was like, let me just go home and get the dog and I'll come back. So I went to call my boyfriend because like I was just so aggravated and I wanted to talk to him because I had to go back 30 minutes to get the dog. So I was like, oh, maybe he's just doing something with his family. So I went to check his location. And my birthday was coming up, so I was like, oh my god, like maybe they're throwing me a surprise party and like this was the whole point. They sent me to my friend so that they could like set up. Little did I know. So I get there and my boyfriend's car is there and I'm like, okay, like this is weird. So I go inside and like I literally could not find any of them. I'm calling my dog's name. I'm like, let's go. So I was like, you know what, maybe Tristan. I was like, maybe she's in my sister's room downstairs. So I go downstairs to my sister's room And I hear my boyfriend's voice in her room, and like, what the fuck? So I knock on the door, and she's like, hold on, I'm changing. And I was like, no, you're not. I literally hear Blank's voice. She's like, no, you don't. Like, I swear you don't. Like, I swear I'm changing. And I'm like, not dumb. So I open the door, and he's like putting on his shorts as I'm opening the door, and she's putting on her shirt. I was like, literally, like, what the fuck? You're my stepsister. Like, this is the last thing I would expect you guys to do. They were both just like sitting there in shocked, and I like called my parents, and I was like, did you guys freaking know about this? And they were on vacation at the time, and they were like, no, like, we swear we didn't know about this. We seriously just thought she was having a party. Like, I'm so sorry. And her stepmom was like, didn't even care. And me and this guy had been dating for about a year, so I was like, tell me how long, like, this has been going on. And they were like, only a few months. Only a few months. My dad was not allowed to comfort me or say anything. He wasn't allowed to speak on the situation. My stepmom did not allow him, so that's why I'm not really allowed to, like, speak about it on the internet, but I don't care anymore. If my parents see this and get mad at me, oh well. Because deep down, my dad does want to be on my side, and his girlfriend's just, or wife, isn't letting him. And yeah, they expect me to be all goody-goody with my stepsister, so like we've kind of made up since it was like a year ago, but it still pisses me off. And now she's never allowed to meet one of my boyfriends again, because knowing her, she'll try and get with him. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of my stupid chungus life. Bye guys.
Okay, I'm getting ready for a date. I love a first date. Honestly, I cannot even lie. This lighting's very bright. So I left that boy my number, obviously, and he followed me on Instagram, and he thought it was funny because I wrote it on, like, my receipt from my nail salon, and he was like, I literally thought I got ticketed. That was part of the plan, and it works. I succeeded. And so we were, like, messaging a little bit on there, and then he was like, here's my number, let's hang out, because we're literally neighbors. I know I should have learned the first time that I started, like, kind of seeing a neighbor boy that was, like, literally the worst idea physically possible, but literally shut up. Like, maybe this time's different. So I, like, was telling my mom about it, obviously, and I was, like, looking through his Instagram, and I was like, oh, like, you should look at him, like, see, like, what the vibes are, like, see if you think he's cute. And I was like, so I sent her the Instagram, obviously, and she goes, he kind of looks short. And, like, seriously, spare me all, like, if you're short on this story and you're a boy, seriously, I don't want to hear it. I don't really care. Like, oh, no, you gotta give the short kings a chance. No, I literally don't. It's like me saying I only like white boys, and then somebody being like, oh, well, you have to try black boys too. Like, no, I like a medium ugly white man, period, point blank. Like, at least 5'11". It looks like I literally have dog ears. Woof, woof. Like, it's not that I, like, don't want to not like them. I'm just not attracted to a man that's this big. Like, I'm fucking sorry. So, like, whatever, we've been texting. He's cute in the face. Like, he has tattoos. He has a hobby, which is surfing. Except for he's also, his job, I bet you'll never guess what it is. Oh, you guessed firefighter? Correct! Him and every other fucking man in Orange County. Like, you guys need to find a new bit. Like, come up with something new. So, yeah, that's kind of that's, like, the gist of it. He's super cute. I don't know when we're hanging out. We haven't really made a plan. We've just kind of been playing the get to know you game. So we'll see. But like you guys, what if I go hang out with him and he is this big? What if he's as big as this little fucking bronzer? Like, could you imagine? I'm taller than him. I'm like 5'7". So like I'm not saying by any means I'm like a gigantic person, but like 5'7" as a man. And also, it's not like I'm like, oh, I only date men that are 6'1" and above. Like, you guys, I will date. Got it in my mouth. I will date, so like 5'10" is my minimum. Like, please at least be 5'10". Like, I don't want to stand next to you and we're like this. Like, no, like, seriously, don't be rude. Like, but honestly, kind of brave of me to just, like, shoot my shot. Like, okay, bring back shooting your shot. Bring back organic dating. I'm not going to delete Hinge or anything, but, like, we should definitely bring back some sort of organic dating. I went first, so now you guys have to follow suit. So I just got home from my first date. Men don't have a lot of things, obviously, naturally. But something they do have is truth. Okay? They have the ability to have truth. This man that I went on a date with said he was 5'11". All of his pictures were with a mustache, with a full head of hair, and again, 5'11". And you know what he did have on the first date that he said on his profile? Nothing. None of the above. He's in the fire academy. As every other basic white man in Orange County is whatever. He's a soon-to-be firefighter. Okay, right, and I'm the fucking Pope. Like, shut up, you're huge. He was also, keep in mind, I was wearing, like, my little fry boots that, like, have a heel this big. Again, I'm 5'7". I was taller than him. If you cannot even be honest about your height, sorry, my eyebrows are scary right now. Hold on. If you cannot even be honest about your height, then, like, oh, wrong way. What can you be honest about? Because, like, realistically, like, what, do you think I'm lying about my height? Like, obviously not. And so it's like, if you're saying you're 5'10", and I show up wearing, like, literal normal boots, and I'm taller than you, you think I'm not gonna notice that? Oh, great. Not the mascara eye boogies. You think I'm not gonna notice that? Like, I hate dating. I hate every man. They're all fucking annoying.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm ready for the can of worms that I'm about to open, as far as like unlocked memories of mine, but it is what it is. Let's talk about it. So I had a lot of friends, like I said in that last video, that I didn't tell like that situation to. I have a lot of things that happen to me in life that I really don't open up about. I'm not that type of person, but a lot of them are curious to finding out exactly what happened and how I found out that my ex was basically poisoning me, making me gain weight by giving me, those supplements. So in order to explain that, I have to explain what led up to all of that, okay? So there was two things that I put together, and that's how I found out that he was doing this to me. The first, let's go back a little bit, was that this man was struggling with drug abuse and alcohol abuse. So he was leaving a bunch of like little shooter bottles all over my house, like hiding them. So he would hide them in cabinets. He would hide them under sinks. He would hide them in our coat closet, all these different areas. And I was finding them around the house. In one of the situations, one of the instances, I want to say underneath a cabinet sink in one of the bathrooms, maybe, I found a couple of bottles, and I found that bottle. I want to say it was like a brown bottle, glass. It had a dripper, and the substance was sticky, almost like a honey. And I didn't know what it was. It looked very formal. It looked like some kind of like prescription type of thing. And at the time, I hadn't put anything together yet, okay? I looked up the name, I looked up what it was, and it basically gave me information that this was a weight gaining supplement, and it was used on pretty much people that were struggling with anorexia, if you will, right? So okay, he was very, very thin at the time due to the rug abuse. So I was like, maybe this is him trying to take some things to hide that. Okay, fine. So I didn't say anything about it after I found it. I just kept it. I took a picture of it. I kept it in my mind, and I was like, okay, this is going to come up eventually. Okay. A little later on in, I want to say a month, two, maybe, whatever. That was still in the back of my mind, but whatever. We had other issues. Somewhere or another, we get into an argument about bills, because remember how I said he was basically living with me. We lived together. We had the lease together, but I was paying at least 90% of the bills, if not 100% of the bills at all times. And he had a decent income, so I didn't understand what was going on. All he would ever tell me was that his mom had access to his bank account and she was taking money from him because he owed his parents money. Every time I brought it up, he'd say, oh, it was money that I owe them from when they helped me move back to Arizona. This had been at least 3+ years that he had been back to Arizona. So how much money did your parents give you if every time you get paid, you're giving them pretty much, according to you, most of your paycheck to, pay them back? Made no sense. So eventually I got sick of it and I got on his bank account and I was like, I'm going to figure this out. How much money is this lady actually taking? He is a typical male and had the same password. Pretty much, it wasn't hard to figure it out. So I get on his bank account and I see transactions that he's taking out money at Circle K's and ATMs. Leads up to the rug abuse, right? He's sending money to a familiar name that I know, this guy that he works with that I know also is rug abuse. So I was like, okay, they're probably getting rugs together. But then there's a bunch of PayPal accounts that range from $30 to $200, $250 that he's paying out. And I'm like, PayPal? And they're foreign names, mainly Asian, but foreign names that I don't recognize. So I take a screenshot, I write these names down. And I'm like, what is this going to? So I look these names up on my personal phone and I couldn't find anything. Once he's passed out, whatever, I take his phone and I look up these names in the search history. And there's a website that comes out by Phoebe Feeder, something like that. Okay, so then I go down this rabbit hole of what is this website? I had no idea what this was. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently feederism and this website is where you can find people, mainly that are bigger bodied, and pay them to send you videos and pictures of them eating for schmexual pleasure, right? So apparently it's like MSR, like eating and making the noises and watching people progressively grow. Okay. Immediately in my brain, I was like, so I did the research and it was like, most people that are into this are into watching people go from really thin to really big. Immediately found, like, my brain clicked and I thought of that substance. And I don't know why, but I was like, that's what's in my Starbucks. I know that's what's in my Starbucks. This was like 3 a.m. I wake up, I run downstairs, and I open up my Starbucks jars, and they all have, like, I start dumping them out, and they're all, like, gooey in the bottom. And I'm like, oh, hell no, like, syrupy. So then I wake up this man. I literally, like, okay? And I was, like, losing my mind. I'm telling him, I know what you're doing. I know that this is in here. XYZ. Like, what are you doing to me? And he just straight up admitted it. He admitted that at first it started off as I don't like the attention that you get when you walk into a room. I don't like the attention that you get on social media. It bothers me. It makes me very insecure. And I wanted to make you ugly to other people. And then he said when he started looking into this, he started getting schmexual pleasure of seeing other people gain weight and started liking that whole fetishism and dove deep into that and started finding people that he could pay to do that because I wasn't doing it quick enough, because he was doing it in secret to me and he wanted to watch it grow. And that is how I found out that this man was technically poisoning me.
Hey TikTok, you may not know me. My name is Desiree. I'm in San Diego. I'm a bomb-ass hairstylist. Nonetheless, that's not the point of this video. I'm on here because my husband and I are not going to be together anymore. I'm actually going to get an annulment. I'm not going to talk too much about what's happening just yet because I'm waiting for someone to write my book. I'm so serious. Y'all, I know I'm not like the only person this has been done to, but I feel so like my situation is unique. Every day has been something new that I find out about this person who I thought was the love of my life, my best friend, and everything. We've been married for a year. Our 1 year anniversary was this February. And next year, in February, we make 2 years. But we couldn't even make it there because his ass decided that he's now bisexual. Now, I put air quotes up for a reason. Okay? For a reason. That's because I don't believe that he's bisexual. I believe that he's truly gay and that I was his beard or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I was just like the cover up of it all. And while he might have been attracted to me, I think it was only because in his head he was fucking a man, like while he was doing things. Like I don't really know. Oh, and also because we about a minute and some in, if you are under the age of 18, get your trifling ass off of my page right now, because this is not for you. If you ain't grown and you can't handle this mouth, get up off my page. This ain't for you. Okay? I also want you to let y'all know that I have been boohooing ever since July. I'm not at that point right now. I'm not there, and I'm so happy that I'm not, because it's taken me a lot to get from that stage of my life to where I'm at. I begged, I pleaded, I was so depressed. I was so depressed. And no amount of I'm here for you or anything like that from anybody else was going to get me out of that. And I knew that. Like, I knew I had to be the one to try and help myself, or to help myself and do these things. And like from time to time, just like right now, I'm getting emotional because this is truly, like, this is my life. And he knew all along what he was feeling. But instead of being honest and faithful to the person he took vows with, and instead of being a friend to me and my best friend, he decided to talk to his people that he befriended and tell them about how he's feeling before he even told me. Opened up to people before he opened up to me, figuratively, and I don't know, maybe physically. It's funny now, but it's really wasn't. It's still not, but it is. You gotta laugh, because I laugh before I cry some more. I'd rather laugh. Anyhow, I am really happy to let you know, though. I am, like I said, I'm happier. It's just, it's a process, and I've never been through this. And I want you to know too, I'm a very candid person. So to answer everyone's questions right now, I asked every single question I could and should ask. And that was before we got together, before we even became a couple, because we were friends for over 10 years. You heard me, 10 years. And you would think, damn, 10 years? You were friends, just friends? Literally just friends. We never dated, nothing. It was super platonic. During those 10 years, I thought he was potentially gay, but I wasn't sure, because we never had a conversation about him and his sexuality. We just talked about, like, I talked to him about me and my dating life. And like just life in general. Like, he talked about life, but he never talked to me about him dating. Because eventually I come to find out after that 10 years and we started liking each other, come to find out he was a virgin. He had never been in a relationship. Nothing. He only went on one date with someone. He kissed someone barely. Well, according to him. But I trusted that. So upon that, I asked him, are you gay? You would say, Oh, you asked that? Yes, I did. I asked that because that's a question I want to know, and I need to know. Because I'm over here thinking I like my gay best friend maybe, or like guy best friend or something like that. I mean, that's fine. That's my prerogative. But I'm feeling like I like him. So I wanted to know, is that something like, do I like that or not? He proceeds to tell me that no, he's not gay. And that in fact hurts his feelings when people say that or accuse him of that, because all his life people have thought this of him. And yes, every single person that I had ever introduced to him or like anything like that, they assumed that too. They thought that he was, and I didn't say anything like, because I don't know, but like his mannerisms would give that. And if you were to ever meet him, you would think that too. But again, once we became a couple, once he told me no and all this other stuff, and I felt bad and this and that, I protected him, and I made sure that not one person, if they asked it, I would shut it down. But not one person was able to talk badly about him ever, because I would fuck you up, because that's my person. And he just expresses himself in a certain way that most men don't, or that's what I thought. Anyways, I have so much more to this story, but for right now, that's it. Bye. Hey y'all, my name is Desiree. I'm a bomb-ass hairstylist from San Diego, and you might not know the story that happened before, but this is part 2. Let me just start this by saying though, the outpouring of love is like really like, and even people that don't understand and they're writing in here, it's really like, it's a lot. And I don't know how to process my emotions really right now. And all I can say to my family, my friends, if you know me, you've been around me, you are my loved one, and you see me crashing out, it's because I'm certified crash out right now. So I don't know. You're going to see me cry. You're going to see me laugh. You're going to see me be angry. But there's a reason, okay? So to get to that, let me just backtrack a little bit. So he and I have been friends for over 10 years, right? Now, a lot of people will say, of course, like, well, you've seen that he has these mannerisms and you see all these things. Like, why would you stay with someone and knowing this and marry this person? What would make you do that? What would compel you to do those things? And honestly, if I were you, I would say the same thing to me, right? But here's the thing. When you respect someone, love someone, and want to cherish someone, me personally, I can't speak on you. Me personally, I definitely, I'm not a judgmental person in that way. And more so like, maybe I'm not even like judgmental. I am a more accepting person, period. If you ever meet me and just get to talking to me, like, I'm not going to be the person and be like, oh, like, I mean, like, I'm gonna have my opinions, but I don't form, like, I try not to form opinions of people ahead of time before I meet them, of course, because I feel like that's not fair. Like, I don't want nobody doing that shit to me. Don't do that to you. I wouldn't do, you know what I mean? So, same said with him. I didn't want to assume anything, especially after he shut it down. Once he told me some personal things, he expressed to me that, you know, this is definitely a touchy subject, and all his life, everybody, you know, ranging from his family on, has said this. And I said, well, dang, like that took me back, because I'm like, dang, I mean, like, they see it, but no, you're not, though, you're not. He said, no. And he proceeded to show me for 8 years. So 8 years we were together. 8 years, y'all. We just were married for a year. But we were friends for 10, together for 8, married for 1. Once you let that sink in, you don't know the type of person that I am, so you don't know what I would accept, who I typically date, and what I find acceptable as a loved one. Everybody is different, but I'm going to say that when it came to him, he was especially different to me. It was especially different to me because we were best friends, and that meant something to me. And because of that, I made sure that I was going to protect him and how, you know what I mean? I can't control how people view him because he's just who he is. And if you were to ever meet me and I told you about him, I would say that he was a ray of sunshine, because he is. And if you ever did meet him, he is. He's going to give you that. And he is an amazing person when it comes to that. Like, there are so many things that are great about him. When it comes to this relationship, no. Absolutely not. Like, when I look back at things, no. But in hindsight, y'all, I want you to know that, like, I was definitely there thinking, like, because he was proving to me at every turn that no, I'm like, I didn't have to keep asking him. I wasn't like constantly asking him throughout our relationship, y'all. Also, like, there wasn't a time where I was thinking, that was a little, was a little questionable. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have those things. If I did, then no, but I never kept bringing it up or asking him, like, you know what I mean? Are you gay? Do you like men? Or anything like that. I never had to question that. It wasn't until this year that I questioned, like, for real questioned him. And then, of course, everything came out in July. And, oh, you don't know that, but listen. Things have happened that have unraveled for me to find out that he is bisexual. And the way they happen is because things that are done in the dark come to the light. So, chocolate, stop. So, with that being said, I found out. And I found out some more things recently, and that's what's been making me crash out just a little bit more. To the people that are his friends, I feel like y'all some bitch asses. That's just me personally. Call me what you want. But if you're accepting of this behavior, even his family, if you're accepting of this behavior, and you know me, and you think that this is okay, I think you're a bitch ass. And that's just how I feel. But, you know, whatever. Not all of his friends, I'm not saying everybody, but if this applies to you, if this touches that nerve, what they say, I heard dog gonna holler. So, anyways, yeah, that's it for now. Because I'm not sure. If y'all want to ask me something, how about that? You can ask me, but I will eventually be unraveling some more things, just slowly, and we'll see how it goes. But talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how I just got ghosted. Also, I just joined the cluster trend, and no one told me that these were literally T as. Okay, so long story, like real short, right? We're gonna keep it cute, short, and simple. Basically, I work at a bar, and there was a regular that came in, and for some reason, he brought up to me and the bartender, like, hey, like, what type of guys are you guys into? So I told him, I was like, you know, like, I feel like I always went for like one certain type, but I'm definitely like open to others. So whatever, he heard my type, and he's like, you know what? Like, my nephew is literally gonna be perfect for you. And I don't usually like to do like setups just because like I never know like if the person that's like trying to set me up is like spot on. So whatever, he gives me his Instagram and I seek him out and I'm like, oh wait, he's actually kind of cute. Like I would be down for this. And let's just put this out there. Like I have not been in the dating scene in so long just because like I am very content with myself. So I wasn't even like really seeking or like looking to get put on. So whatever, me and him are talking for a little bit and, you know, conversation through text was like really good. Like he had a lot of personality. He was really funny. So I was like, okay, like I can see this going somewhere. So he ends up telling me, he's like, hey, like let's meet up for, you know, some sushi and a car meet because he's into cars. So cool. Like I'm into cars too. So we meet up, whatever, you know. Actually, we did not meet up. He picked me up, which was my first fault. Like I should have just met him there. Date was on good vibes. Like the conversation was there. Like I was a little nervous in the beginning, but like, you know, after a couple drinks, we started opening up. You know, when the conversation gets awkward and it's just not going anywhere, it was going somewhere. It just kept going. Where I messed up at was, you know, obviously after we hung out and we had a couple drinks at different bars and stuff like that, he invited me back to his house to watch a movie and get some more drinks. And I'm like, cool, like I'm down for that. Like it just sounded like chill vibes and I don't get out the house enough. So I was like, fuck it, like let's just do it. One thing leads to another. We're at his house and yeah, unfortunately we did hook up. I know 100% that like I could have avoided that, but you know, under the influence, like I was already having a good time, like, you know, shit just happens. So I ended up spending the night at his house that night, which was just kind of stupid of me, but whatever. He drops me off the next day. I get ready, I go to work. I don't see anything wrong with me texting him like, hey, you know, I had fun last night. I just texted him like, hey, like I had fun last night. Like, hope you get home safe, whatever. This is where shit starts to go left. So he texts me back. He's like, yeah, like I had fun too last night. And yes, I did get home safe. Okay. You know, and let's just mention this too. In the beginning, the messages, like the time frame from our messages, minutes. Maybe the longest was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I knew not to expect too much communication on, you know, the day after, just because he knew I was gonna be busy with work and UFC and Super Bowl and playoffs and shit. So I wasn't really expecting like a bunch of communication. A couple days after that, like, you know, now his responses are taking hours, and I'm like, okay, well, this is not a really good sign, whatever. But I'm like, maybe he's just busy at work. And so I'm just giving him like all this like leeway. I'm like, he's just at work and he's busy and I'm busy as well. So the hours are fine. His uncle would come in and I would like not really vent to him, but I would just be like, yeah, I'm just giving him his space. And I can just tell like his uncle is just trying to get details out of me. But I'm like, you know, like that's up to your nephew to like tell you the details if he wants to. But otherwise, like, no, like we had a good time. And so whatever, very long responses, hours, sometimes 24 hours, whatever, right? He ends up texting me. He's like, hey, whatever. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, have you been? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, good, you know, busy with work, but, you know, I do want to see if, like, maybe you're free this weekend. At this point, I'm like, hell yeah, okay, we're good. Like, he's already asking to go on a second date. Like, okay, nothing, you know, that didn't really hinder him from the first date. Like, we're good, right? So we planned on hanging out on Sunday, and all these text messages are happening, like, earlier in the week. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, like, Sunday night, I'm available. So Sunday comes around and I'm at work and I'm getting off work, right? And my last message to him was Saturday night. And I was just asking him what he was up to, and he was watching the fights, blah, blah, blah. So I texted him, I'm like, yeah, like I just finished watching the fights too. I just got home, blah, blah, blah. No response, right? So I'm like, Sunday, cool. Like I'm just gonna wait for him to text me because why would I double text a man, right? So all of Sunday, I wait and I wait and I wait, and I'm being a patient girl. I'm getting through my work shift. I finally get off and I'm like, okay, he hasn't texted me yet. Like, this is so weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. At this point, like, I'm like, yeah, the chance of me getting ghosted right now is very, very high. At this point, I've been stressing all week about his response times and like if he's into me, and which is so crazy because I would never do that for any other guy. Like I said, I'm not in the dating scene like that, so I would never do that for any other guy. But I think since I was already so vulnerable with him and I had seen like a slight potential in this guy, I was like, ugh, like that really hurts my feelings. So now it's like 8:30 on Sunday night, and like you would think that like he would have hit me up at like 6, 5 o'clock, right? Now I'm at the bar drinking. I'm talking to my guy friend. I'm like, okay, so we're clearly not hanging out today because he has not texted me. Like I'm definitely being ghosted. And I'm like, well, where do I go from here? Like, do I unfollow him? My friend's like, no, like don't unfollow him. Like it's just gonna make it seem like, you know, you really did care or like you were interested in hanging out with him. I'm like, duh, like what do you mean? I finally get home and I'm just like upset. Like I am hurt, whatever. I bawl my eyes out. I don't care, you guys. Like I'm a freaking crybaby, and sometimes a girl just needs like a really good cry, and I haven't had one of those in a long time. So I cried my eyes out and I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna unfollow him. Yeah, so more of the story is I messed up a lot, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, like I know that was like 100% like my fault. Like I definitely played a part in that. Like I think I got way too attached. I probably shouldn't have hooked up with him on the first night. But you know, no regrets at all. At the end of the day, the world keeps spinning and life goes on. It just really sucked. Like I said, I actually like really like this guy. Obviously, I went on one date with him, but there's room for improvement and there's room for others. Thanks for getting ready with me and listening to how I got ghosted. This is the finished look. I am now gonna go make some money and we are gonna hopefully find another guy.
I have a random man from jail trying to contact me multiple times a day. Let's talk about it because I'm trying to decide what to do about it myself. This has all been going on since yesterday, so really not that long, but he called me yesterday and he got the wrong number, okay? So he dialed the wrong number. He was trying to contact his sister, but I answered because I was getting a call from jail and I was like, who do I know that's in jail? I don't, but what if somebody I do know is in jail and they need my help, right? So I'm like, I have to answer. So I answer, and it is a man on the other end of the phone. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I don't recognize his voice. And I'm like, I think you have the wrong number. And he said, no, I don't. And I'm like,
yes you do. And he has me say my number back to him, which probably was my first mistake, okay? Because then he had my number, right? He memorized my number by me saying it back to him. Well, we talked for like the free 120 seconds, and I made a joke halfway through the call, and I was like, what are you even in jail for? And he was like, armed robbery. And I was like, man, better make better choices, because look at you, you're sitting in jail, idiot. Then I just told him, make better choices, and the call ended, right? I thought that was the end of it. But no. So today, I was waiting in line to get my son from school, and I got another phone call from the jail, and I was like, no freaking way. Like, did he memorize my number and call me back, right? And so I answer it because I'm intrigued, and I'm like, what the heck does this guy want from me? And I answer it, and he's like, oh, you didn't think I'll call you back? And I'm like, I didn't think you would remember my number, and I didn't think that you... No, I didn't. Okay? I did not. I was expecting this call to be like 120 seconds, a free call, and then it ends, right? So I was like, I'll entertain this boy for 120 seconds, which I say boy, but I'm pretty sure he's like a grown-ass man, like maybe late 40s, early 50s, because I looked him up on CaseNet, okay? So hold on, let me take it back a little bit. And he's like, I was so good yesterday, I just had to tell you how good I was. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, buddy, you're in jail. You're in jail. Do you even know who you're talking to? I'm a fucking mother, okay? He was like, I'm just like down really bad, I have a lot of anger issues, and you like made my day yesterday. And so I thought, I need to talk to this person again. I was like, period. I do that to everyone. Just kidding, I don't do that to everyone. I do quite the opposite. 120 seconds has like come and gone. Like, are you paying for this shit right now? He was like, yeah. And I was like, no freaking way. So then I was like, if you're paying for this, I at least need to know your name. I need to know your full name so I can look you up on CaseNet. And also, like, you need to know, I have 3 children, I have a fiance, I'm not interested in you, but I'll be your friend if you're lonely, I guess, right in this moment. He gives me his full name. He says, look me up on CaseNet. And I'm like, okay. So I look him up on CaseNet. This man has been in jail twice for the same shit. And he's been in and out of jail since 2014. And when I say in and out, I mean he went for like 2 years, it said, and then was out for like less than a year, and then now he's been in jail for 9 years. And I was like, oh, period. Which his crimes were not like murder or anything, so I wasn't like scared of him. So I entertained him when I was in the line because I thought it was funny, honestly. I was like, do it for the plot, girl. His favorite color is red. He used to play football in middle school. He has 1 daughter, and his baby mama has like 4 baby daddies. I don't know. None of my business. He loves to watch ridiculousness. Like, he was just basically telling me a whole bunch of like fun facts about himself. And I was like, period. He was like, I just am really lonely and I need a friend. And I was like, why is that actually so sad? That just like made me want to keep talking to him because I felt bad. I'm an empath and I felt bad. This man proceeded to talk to me for 35 minutes. I also learned that he likes to fight people in jail too. Yeah, he said he has anger issues, but he's trying to work on it because he's trying to get out earlier. And also, look at all my freaking acne. If anyone has any tips on how to get rid of acne, please let me know, because what is this? So this is what I'm kind of like uneasy about, is the fact that when we were on the call earlier, he said, what brings you to Kansas City? I never told him where I live. And I'm like, I mean, I guess he can find it from my area code, right? From my phone number. Like, maybe I'm thinking way too deep into it, and he's just like, oh, that area code is Kansas City, Missouri. But, like, he said that. He said, what brings you to Kansas City? And I was like, how do you know where I live? And, like, he really didn't say anything else other than that. Like nothing weird. Like, it was all just very surface level, like, I need a friend type of thing. Like, I'm in jail, and I'm bored. And I was like, period, whatever. About 10 minutes ago, he tried to call me again. Of course I did not answer. I was like, no, I'm not answering you. What? We're not fucking pen pals, buddy. I just don't know whether to block him and just let him be an angry little jailmate, or if I like entertain him like once a week and like give him a friend to talk to. I don't know. Garrett's not very fond of him calling me at all, which, you know what? I totally understand. But I just feel so bad for him. Like, I don't like him. I just feel bad for him, and I feel like he deserves a friend. If you were in my position, what would you do? Would you keep answering his calls, or would you just completely ignore him?
Is not the love of your life.
Get ready with me for work while I tell you guys about the time I got cheated on with a 40-year-old woman. Okay, I had been seeing this older guy. At this point, it was probably maybe about like 2 weeks of us seeing each other, if I had to guess. And I don't really know what to describe our situation because we'd be together and then we'd break up like every other day. So I just like choose to believe that it didn't count as a relationship. But anyways, we're out one night to get drinks and dinner and we're talking. And like the day before, he had spent the whole day at the bar with his friends, which was like kind of a constant thing. He like was always out at the bar with his friends, which was like to each their own, do whatever, I guess. But he was gone from like probably 10 a.m. to like 9 p.m. Like it was an all-day affair for him. And I think I was working, if I remember correctly. Anyways, we're talking, drinks are flowing. And it was pretty early on in the night that he is like talking about the bar the day before, and he goes, oh yeah, like this guy was making out with this MILF. She had to be at least 40. Like it was so weird. And I was like, that's odd, because like it was just so random. It had nothing really to do with the conversation that we were having, if that makes sense. Like I don't know, it just really didn't, it just kind of was out of place. And like the way he told it, I don't know, like if you're a girl, I feel like you just like pick up on things that are like, that doesn't seem right, like why are you saying that? So that was like kind of my mentality at that point. Okay, so fast forward, it's like a little while later. This is like still in the back of my mind, obviously, what he had said, but I've had a couple too many drinks. We're going to go pick up his friend, and I want to say we were going to the bar that night. So we go to go pick up his friend, we're going to the bar, and like I don't know, like something just felt off to me, and the outfit I had on I didn't really like. So I was like, oh, can you just like please take me back to my apartment, like I really want to change. And I want to preface by saying I know this sounds crazy, and I wish I could say I'm ashamed, but I'm not, because I don't care. I really could care less. When you know, or when you like have a gut feeling, you have a gut feeling. And like I talked to his mom after the situation, and she even agreed with me that my gut feeling was right and what I did was right. But we go to my apartment, and I live on a 3rd floor, and I just secretly on the ride there like put my phone on the seat and start recording. And I go, oh, you and your friend can just wait in the car, like don't worry about it, like I'll maybe be like 5 minutes. I'm sitting upstairs in my apartment the whole time, like low-key going a little bit longer than 5 minutes. I was probably up there for 10, just purposely taking my time because I wanted to give him enough time to sit and talk with his friend and like feel comfortable. Again, I know that's crazy, but I'm like not ashamed. I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. That's just who I am, unfortunately. I really don't care. Honestly, I get back down to the car and I like grab my phone and I go, oh, I left my phone in the car. I was like upstairs looking for it, think I lost it. He, I don't think even picked up on it because he didn't really seem that interested in what I had to say ever at all, which is fine, like, because it ended up working out for me in the end. We go to his house to pregame before we go out to the bar, and I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm like, I kind of want to listen to the video, like I want to listen to the video, like whatever. And I start playing it, and at first it starts off pretty good, like nothing really bad, except he was like, oh, she's already drunk, which, damn, can I live? Can I have fun? Like, I'm literally just a girl. Okay, so anyways, I'm listening to the video, and it's like, it's progressively getting worse, and I'm like dead silent on the couch at this point, so for him to not like pick up on the fact that something was going on is crazy. Like, I'm never quiet ever, let alone when I'm drunk. But I hear him go, oh, already cheated, and I'm like, oh, what? What? So my face drops and I just go, and then he's like, what? And then I just keep listening, and it's basically him and his friend sitting there like laughing about how he cheated. He goes, yeah, I made out with that MILF last night. She had to be like 40. She was there with her daughter. Mind you, the daughter was like 22. Why didn't you just like make out with the daughter? That would have made me feel so much better, but whatever, who cares? So then his friend like makes the comment like, once a dog, always a dog, and they like start laughing. And then he was like, yeah, I was gonna go in the bathroom, but I decided better not, which is like, I guess, okay, cool. Thanks for that. Side note, this is so good, like what crack are they putting in it? Anyways, in my drunken state, I basically like call him out for it. I'm like, I just turn to him and I go, so who made out with the MILF again at the bar last night? And he is like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I remember you were like telling me at dinner like some guy made out with a MILF at the bar, like just seeing if he'd like admit to it. He'd be like, oh, I don't know, it was this random guy. And I was like, oh, okay, so like I know you're lying, by the way. And I just kind of tell him, I'm like, look, I literally recorded all of that like in the car. Like I knew something was off from the moment that like you mentioned it at dinner. Like, I just had a gut feeling, and for you to sit here and lie in my face is crazy. Honestly, after that, it just, like, really went downhill. He proceeded to yell at me, scream at me, tell me how I invaded his privacy, and how that was so illegal, which, like, okay, yeah, it is, but, like, hey, let's talk about what you did. Let's not talk about what I did, let's talk about what you did, okay? It's also so funny to me, like, how narcissistic men just immediately go to, like, figuring out whatever you've done and, like, flipping the whole situation on you. Like, I really, like, I played such a small part. Like, what I did was wrong, yes, and I'll fully admit to that. Like, I agree. Should I have been recording? No. But, like, would I have found out, like, any other way if I wasn't, you know? Like, no, I definitely wouldn't have. Like, I'm glad that I had the intuition to know to record. But anyways, besides the point, he's just basically going off on me, yelling at me, kicks me out of his house. I have my friends come pick me up, which is, like, whatever. We go out, get more drinks at, honestly, the same dinner place we were just at, and I'm, like, telling the waitress I just had, like, hey, remember that guy I was here with, like, literally an hour ago? I just found out he cheated on me, like, what? And so we're, like, ranting to her, talking to her, and yeah, but story doesn't end there, because I did end up going back home with him after the bar. Hey, save your comments, I already know. After going home with him and being belittled and yelled at for probably, if I had to guess, 2 hours, maybe 3, I ended up fully being like, you know what, you're right, it's totally my fault, like, I messed up. Hey, babe, so it's actually not my fault at all. I'm just so tired of you talking at me and not with me that I, like, really wanted the conversation to be over. And that was the end of it. We went to bed, and yeah. I think I just, like, summoned his spirit, because I literally just put my puppy everywhere, all over my vanity, so if that's not telling, I don't know what is. I did continue to stay for another 3 months, so I wish I could say I know why, but I honestly really don't, but whatever for the plot, I guess. So yeah, my makeup's all done, and now I'm gonna go work. Wish me luck.
Okay, so today I was just...
What turned me in from the person I used to be to the person I am today. It's kind of a long story. I might have to do this in I don't even know how many times. I don't even know if I'm going to post it. So today, 5 months ago, exactly, we had gone to a neighborhood wedding. We live in a town of 300 people. Everybody genuinely knows everybody. A neighbor was getting married, so the whole town came out to celebrate. I left the house in a pair of extra tight black heels. Women, you understand this, the whole wedding garb, the Spanx, the bra that had my tits up to my chin, full face of makeup, all of the things, hair done, feeling myself, and walked out the door with my husband. That morning, we had a great day. We had gone four-wheeling. Everything was fun. It was fantastic. We're having a great time at the reception, laughing. Everybody's enjoying themselves. And one of the firemen, who, again, small town, was at the wedding, got a fire call. It happens all the time. It's normally any little thing, but it's something we all know. So he took his fire call, and then he came back up, and he grabbed a couple more firemen that were at the wedding, and he's like, hey, guys, we've got to go. There's a fire in town. Again, everybody in this town is at this wedding, so what's going on? Nobody said anything. Everybody kind of got in their trucks because it's still privacy. They're not talking about it. And then the fire chief walked up to me and he said, sweetheart, I need you to get home. It's your house. Your house is on fire. And I just sat there and I remember the feeling like I couldn't breathe. And I said, what are you talking about? And he was like, honey, your house is on fire. You got to go. And I looked at my husband looked at me, and we're like, no, it's fucking not. It cannot be. I was there. It was fine. My house is fine. So he jumped in the car and we took off driving, and I could see these huge plumes of black smoke. We're only a mile, maybe 3 miles away. So I could see the smoke. And I was like, maybe it's a little fire. Maybe it's a small, like a little fire garage. I don't care. it's got to be a small fire. And when I got up to the stop sign, I could see it wasn't a small fire. And my dogs were in the house. And by the time we actually got to my house, the entire house was engulfed in flames. And I jumped out. I didn't even wait for my husband to stop the car. I jumped out and I ran towards the house. And one of my neighbors grabbed me and he's like, you can't go, you can't go. And I was like, my dogs are in there. I have to get my dogs, okay? Just somebody let me get the dogs. And at that point, another neighbor came up and everybody was everywhere. And it's really, my memory is hard. But another one came up and he was like, honey, we tried to go in and get them, but the smoke was too bad. We couldn't get in at all. And the flames were too high. We couldn't get them. And I remember dropping to my knees and just screaming. And I kept screaming, and I don't remember a lot, but I remember the smoke. And I remember that morning, take a picture of my house with its beautiful autumn decor. I had just bought those fucking Hobby Lobby pumpkins. White bitches, you know what I'm talking about. It was so perfect. It was so perfect. And I had taken a picture of it that day. And 24 hours later, my newly painted, gorgeous 1896 American Foursquare home was gone. It was just gone. 50 years of memories. My entire life was in that house. All 5 of my children were before the internet. Everything was analog. I had real pictures. I didn't have them on iClouds. I had so many things you can't understand. But the most painful was that my dogs were there. And I missed them every day. And I missed that peace of mind because when you leave your house every day, you take for granted that it'll be there when you get home. You're so busy with life and everything and doing all the things that you don't think about it. And then one day, when life is great, it all just disappears. And all I was left with was a pair of high heels, a fucking pair of Spanx, a bra that had my tits up to my chin, and a dress. And I'll never be the same. So when people look at who I was, the very put together mortgage officer who had a little bit of a quirk, to the person I am, and they don't understand, I don't care. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to do this. Faking it. I'm too tired to put on airs like I care because you know what? I don't give a fuck. Every day I'm scared to leave my house, and I try. And I do it. But I'm scared. I installed cameras in my house, not for burglars, but because I'm so afraid that I'm going to miss something and there's going to be a fire. The fire started in my living room, and my dogs were asleep, and they were asleep together, and they just passed away together. They fell asleep due to the smoke inhalation and never woke back up. It started from a ceiling fan. A ceiling fan took my life away. So, that's me. Hi, I'm Shauna. I promise every day won't be depressing, but I do plan on sharing things that I've learned after the fire, the protections you can take, the signs that we missed, and all the random shit that makes me who I am. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for my community who's helped me rebuild my life. I'm grateful for my new friends, old friends, and I'm grateful for TikTok because this is actually the first time I've told this story from beginning to end. And nobody will probably see it, and that's okay. But just know, be grateful for every single second you have, and be grateful for your peace of mind because one day it can be gone. Thank you, everybody. Be kind.